Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Across the Pond. Professional wrestling. Professional wrestling. Tonight's main event includes a star-studded triple threat featuring from Long Island, New York, Court, Justin, and Ty. Let's ring the bell and get this podcast underway.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Across the Pond Professional Wrestling. We are hosts, Justin, Court, and Ty, and we are gearing towards the hottest party of the summer, which actually was a very old slogan that stuck in my mind when there was good old WWE magazine back in the day. But SummerSlam is flying around the corner. We are a week away-ish, a little over a week away, and the card is not disappointing. So we are going to dive into this SummerSlam card. We have title match after title match after title match after title match after title match. So we might have some titles changing hands. And right now, I'm going to put you both on the spot. Court, you'll be first. How many titles will change hands? SummerSlam. 2 Saturdays away.
That is a tough question here. For some reason, I could see 3. That's what I pulled. I'm not going to tell you which 3 unless you want me to.
Yeah, why not? Tell us.
Okay. I'm thinking Intercontinental. I think it's Braun. I think it's Braun's time. I actually think LA Knight. I think Logan hasn't really defended often, and as nice as it was to have him as champ and bring the title around and get the stars involved and all his social media and stuff, I think LA Knight is due. And I'm going to say it's just for some reason I'm looking at Rhea, and I just think that Rhea takes it. I think it's going to be a back and forth between them for a little bit now. So those are my 3 that I'm picking. Obviously, Cody's not going to lose.
So for me, I'm teetering between 3 and 4 just because there's so many different outcomes that can happen for so many different matches that I just don't know which way they're going to play it. I think the most obvious though is I think Gunther is going to beat Damian Priest. You guys might disagree with me, but I do believe SummerSlam, we are going to see the downfall of the Judgment Day as a whole, and that's where the split's going to happen. And that's why I also believe that Rhea is going to lose. I think Dom is going to do one of those plays where he's sliding the chair into Rhea, but it goes to Liv. Liv hits her while the ref's down and retains, and then they start making out or something. So I think both Judgment Day members lose. And then I'm back and forth on 1 or 2 other, but we'll dive into those matches a little bit later. What about you, Ty?
Yeah, I only think Cody's retaining. I don't think anyone else is coming out with their titles. I think this is gearing up for a big shift. And I don't necessarily think Bayley's going to lose the title the way that it seems cut and dry. But we'll get into that when we get to the match. But I do want to talk about first, we'll go into Rhea, Liv Morgan, because I had a conversation with my coworker today about the same exact thing that you just brought up. And I can't see Dom even accidentally screwing over Rhea because I feel like Dominic is using Rhea as a crutch right now for his career. And I don't think Liv brings anything to the table for Dominic at all. I think if you put them together, I think it's just going to fall flat because it's great. You have the eye candy. She's wearing the short shorts on Raw, teasing Dominic. But then once you get there, what kind of magic happens? And I don't think you can recreate the chemistry and the magic that Rhea and Dom have with Dom and Liv. So I think if they went that route, I think it would squander. I don't think it would do good. So that's why, in my mind, I think Rhea wins, becomes the new head of claims the throne of the Judgment Day Queen once again. But I don't think Judgment Day will last too much longer after that Saturday, SummerSlam, August 3rd.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't disagree with you. It's just I feel like the Liv and Rhea story have so much more to give. So I feel like there has to be some sort of swerve to where Liv Morgan retains at SummerSlam, just so we can keep the story going a little bit further. Just because if Rhea wins, that means it's over. Like, what happens to the Liv Morgan revenge tour? Is it done? Is it shot? You know? So for me, like the only way that match goes down is with Liv winning, whether it might not be Dom. It could be Finn. It could be Finn and JD, because we've seen her talking with them, also sneaking around. So either way, Judgment Day's downfall either happens or significantly starts at SummerSlam, and it happens and starts in that match.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a point. Both of you have good points. I think if Rhea wins, you can still play off that rivalry. There's so much to it that you can, say Dom tries to help Rhea and ends up helping Liv, but Rhea wins anyway. You got a story there. If you have Dom trying to help Liv and Rhea wins anyway, you got a story there. So they're going to be intertwined. There's really no one else right below Liv and Rhea right now that's going to be like gunning for the women's championship. So there's really no other direction to go women's wise. I mean, there's a couple people that can climb up the ladder and, so, but to me, I think Rhea does win. Like I said, I don't know what the outcome, I don't know what's going to happen to lead to that, but I think they'll figure out a way to keep this going. There's too much juice on it to just let it flatten out. So I think, you guys both make great points. I just think Rhea wins and they'll figure out a way to keep it going.
Yeah, for me, I think with Rhea too, she lost her title way too early. They weren't going to make her lose that title anytime soon. So I think they want to hand that back to her. She had such steam, but not to dismay Liv Morgan, because she's been on a tear as a champion. It's been very entertaining. She took the ball and she ran into the end zone 15 times. She's been doing amazing. The Dirty Dom shirts, the pop in her head, all the funny moments we had with the Judgment Day with Dom and Damian. We talked about it before with JD and Finn popping their heads around the corner. Carlito being a huge addition to the Judgment Day. One-liners, that's not cool comments, everything Carlito's added to the Judgment Day has been nothing but spectacular. But I think there is a chance where it could go either way. Then you did drive a good point, but I want to stick with Rhea. I think she still had a lot left in her title reign that ended too short because of her injury. I think they can have a match at WrestleMania if Liv wins the Royal Rumble and comes back at Rhea and wins it back from her there. I think we have a whole year's worth of story content that we can get from those two.
Yeah. So this match we're divided, right? You both believe Rhea, and I think Liv Morgan retains. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll make a little graphic, for us to put on our socials with all the ones that we have correct and whatnot. But yeah, this is what I said before. There's so many different matches in which so many different storylines can play out. We don't know which way that they're going to go unless, I think the only match that's really set in stone is obviously Cody's going to defend. So there you go, Cord. I said it. Cody's going to defend his title. Whether Roman Reigns comes out and helps him, who knows? I don't know. Maybe.
You had to spoil the moment.
But he's going to need help when Randy turns on him. It's a fact. That's what's going to happen. But so
we'll talk about that later.
So that I'm just I'm very excited to see where the dominoes fall in a ton of these matches. Yeah,
and I can see I can see Finn, because I selfishly want Finn Damian World Heavyweight Championship match. Would love it. Two separate divisions of the Judgment Day. Have you can have Damian, Rhea, I don't know, Dom, and then Finn, JD, Carlito. Two separate factions of Judgment Day going head to head, and I think it would be gold. But I don't want to get into the world title match just yet because it kind of defeats what I just mentioned. But I'm going to be sad when the Judgment Day is finally no more because they have been so entertaining for like the past 2 years. It's been such a fun ride. The things we've seen, especially from what they were in conception when it was Edge, Damian, and Rhea. And now we have this faction. There's 6 people in the Judgment Day. We have comedy, we have seriousness, we have violence. Like they've encompassed every part of sports entertainment very well, and it's going to be sad to see them go.
I have this weird feeling that Dom is going to be a faction guy for like the next 5 years. Like he's just going to be a faction guy. Like Cody kind of had that in the beginning. He was Legacy, then he was with Ted and all that, and then he went on his own. But I have this weird feeling that Dom is just going to be a faction guy for like the next 5 years. And eventually he'll go into solos. But I mean, he does solos, but like he'll be on his own. But I think he's going to be a faction guy for foreseeable future. So I think even if Judgment Day does implode and it's over, he'll figure something out. I feel like he needs people to lean on. It just works for his character.
So another thing that I thought about with Dirty Dom is he's one of the top heels right now. So Rhea's obviously a face. Like I don't think Dominic has heard a cheer in I don't even know how long. It's been a while.
He's never even with his dad. No one gave a crap about.
So here's another thing. So he's clearly going to be a part of that match one way or another. I think we all can agree with that. He's going to make an appearance. He's going to walk around the ring for a little bit, not doing anything, cheering on Mommy. But Rhea is a face here. Liv is the heel. So if he helps Mommy, is he going to get cheered?
No.
Is Dom cheered? So that's why I feel like he has to, like, if he wants to continue, like, he'll be the ultimate heel if he helps Liv. And then they lock lips in the middle of the ring over like Rhea Ripley's sprawled out body. But if you help Rhea, you're gonna get cheered.
But is there much more heat he can get? He already gets nuclear heat. So like, does it really add to anything he's getting now? I don't think so.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I don't think that it's possible to get as much heat as he's getting. I don't think you can. He's here. That's the ceiling. Like he's hitting the ceiling. You can't get more heat than he already gets.
But if he helps Rhea Ripley win that title, Cleveland is going to cheer for him because everyone wants Rhea Ripley to win.
No way he'll get cheered. No way.
But it's like, look at Roman when he was trying to be a face. Everyone booed the hell out of him. Like no one cares enough about Dom to cheer him. They would boo the hell out of him still. They don't want to hear him talk. Everyone's favorite pastime is not letting Dominic Mysterio talk and boo him out of the arena, and that's not going to change.
But sure. But what I'm sure, this is how I'm envisioning it. Like it's going to be Dom having to choose, and the crowd's going to go crazy. Like, is he going to help Rhea or is he going to help Liv? And then he's going to like look at Liv, and then he's going to like turn around and help Rhea, and Cleveland's going to cheer. That's what I'm envisioning.
I think what's going to happen is he tosses the chair and people are going to boo regardless, even if it's for Rhea because he's interfering in the match, and then it's going to backfire, and then he's just going to get booed the same amount. That's what I see. I could be wrong. I
think we're on the same page here because that's how I feel too. I feel like no matter what he does, I don't care if he goes in the ring and destroys Liv and leaves her motionless for Rhea. it doesn't matter. He's going to get booed.
Yeah.
I digress.
So I want to go into the U.S. title match. I want to bring up what Court you mentioned a little bit earlier with Logan Paul and why I think he's going to lose. We were all very excited when Logan won the U.S. title, but it's just been so depressing because I was hoping he'd be on TV so much more. And he even said, didn't he sign a contract that he'd be on TV more? Like, I was like excited for him to bring the title around, all the social media videos that he's on for his channel on TikTok. He brought the title everywhere. Don't get me wrong. He showed that thing off, but I still wished he was around. Like, when he's there, it's super entertaining, super charismatic, entertaining on the mic, entertaining in the ring. And to not have him around to like actually like be a part of the show that much, it's been lackluster lately. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but that's why I think it's time for him to lose. I think if you're not going to keep him around, or at least as a semi full-time entertainer, don't even have the title on him.
Yeah, I mean, Logan Paul full time is almost as bad as Roman Reigns full time. Let's be real here. They're defending the titles just as often, if not, Roman's actually defending it a little bit more. I think Logan is currently the longest reigning champion in WWE, and he's defended the title three times, maybe. Yeah, 3. And him being a heel, he says, if you don't have to defend it, why would you? Because then you could possibly lose it, blah, blah, blah. I thought he gave a great promo on Friday night with LA Knight. I thought that was a tremendous promo, one-on-one, head-to-head. But you're right, like, the match is going to be great, but then when's the next time he's going to defend it? Survivor Series? Like, it's to the point where he's not defending it. His full time is not what we expected, and it's time to put a title on LA Knight. Let's see the guy run.
Yeah, it's LA Knight's time, and you guys nailed it with Logan. That's kind of what I was saying before. We were expecting like constant TV appearances, constant SmackDown, constant this, maybe a couple title defenses, a couple feuds. Sure, he had a couple here and there, but I think he defended it 3 times and 250 something days, 300, almost 300 days, something like that. And that's just not going to do it for me. I think that LA Knight is still really hot, even though like he's kind of cooled off a tiny bit. People are still doing, they're still doing the chants. They're still with him. Put a title on him, get him into feuds because he will be there because that's his real job. Because Logan said this was his real job, but it's obviously not, which is fine. That's okay. But you can't be a champion. So I think LA Knight wins. I think it'll be a great match, like you said, Justin, but it's time. As much as we were so excited, and he did, like you said, Ty, he brought the title everywhere. It was on his podcast. Pat Mahomes traded his Super Bowl ring for it, all that stuff, which is great. It's great publicity for WWE. I'm sure Triple H was loving it. But you just can't have, especially like a mid-card, not a mid-card, but, lower than WWE World Heavyweight Championship title. That's meant to build people up, and you can't just not have it there. You can't just have it, across the country half the time when you're doing TV. So LA Knight's time. Let's watch it happen.
Yeah, and to back off, to continue off that, I feel like LA Knight could have taken that like way sooner too, especially with how little Logan Paul's defended it. Because like, again, you mentioned it as well, like his heat kind of tapered off a little bit. Like, even at WrestleMania, he was boiling hot, but if like as of recently, it hasn't seemed as the excitement's there. Obviously, he's a face, he's a household name, people love him. But when he was first hot, like months before WrestleMania, like it was crazy. Like it was as loud as Cody's "Whoa" and stuff. And now it's just kind of like, I think everyone's kind of petering out with when is he going to win a title? Like they put him against Roman, they put him in these matches, and then he falls short. So like, I think that was WWE's kind of like wrongdoing in the fact that they probably should have had LA Knight win the U.S. Championship sooner, because there's a lot of people that he could feud with on SmackDown, heels, that would be great. Like him and Carmelo Anthony would be. Come on, Anthony. Carmelo. We're talking basketball. Carmelo would put on an amazing program between the two of them. Carmelo, hot, young, brand new to SmackDown, brand new to the main roster. Like he's hungry and he could put on a show. So I would love to see them feud over the United States Championship. And with Logan not around, like we can't get that. He's the heel. You know, there's only so much time to put him against the little faces that they have. So like they have to pick and choose when they're putting him in matches with people. And it's just, I think it's time. We need to new era for the United States Championship.
Do you guys remember when Triple H first took over creative and it was Triple H's show, how even on Raw and SmackDown, like he was putting out those promo packages of how important the Intercontinental Championship was, the United States Championship, when like Bobby Lashley had it. So he was like trying to make these titles feel important again. And he did. He got that over where these matches were fantastic. And now the title's on Logan. Logan has good matches, but where, you know, it's kind of taking away from it again. So like, you know, I think we all agree it's LA Knight's time. Let's go.
Yeah. And then let's go into the title you just mentioned, the Intercontinental title. We got Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker. Well, Braun Breaker beat Sami Zayn and become the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. It's Braun Breaker's time. The reason why I think they had, because we all said we thought Braun should have won at Money in the Bank, but I think the reason why they didn't is because then it's putting him on as this Goldberg almost, you know, like who's he going to lose to? And I think they saw that and they realized that, and they decided, all right, let's have him lose. Let's knock him off a little bit, but still make him look extremely strong in the process. But now it shows that he can lose. So it's not like who's next, literally like Goldberg. But yeah, I think this is the moment. This is where Braun Breaker takes that Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and I think it also works two ways. I think it works because you need to show that Braun Breaker isn't the typical guy who can't be beat. We just had that with Gunther, right? With the Intercontinental Championship. You don't need a repeat of that. I also think it works for Sammy. I think, you know, people always, you know, think Sammy is a secondary guy, and people wrote him off. Everyone said he was going to lose to Braun Breaker. There's no way he was going to end up winning, and he did. And I think it shows how legitimate Sammy is as a champion, as a competitor. I think that alone puts him on the caliber and the stepping stones of the World Heavyweight Championship and to possibly win the World Heavyweight Championship. It just, I think it made it so that each of those guys had legitimacy towards their characters. And for Braun, it was him having to go down a peg because he's not the unstoppable force, as you mentioned, Dustin.
Yeah, you guys both pretty much nailed it. I think Sammy is amazing. I think this Intercontinental title run has been kind of weird. I know that I think a lot of people feel that way, but I think he's ready for more, especially if, like what we talked about, if you guys think that Gunther's going to win the World Championship, that is perfect for Sammy to just jump right up there. I think Braun is ready. He's a force. He's, you know, he's the perfect mix of his uncle and his father. It's like crazy. Plus added like crazy football player to it. It's just he's ready. I think you guys nailed it with the whole he can't be beaten thing, so we had to have him beat so they don't have the Gunther. It's like you guys hit all my points. So I think Braun wins. I think Sammy doesn't go down from there. I think he goes up from there. So I think it benefits both of them.
And I think Braun Breaker has the best spear in WWE history. When he hits that thing, I think it's better than Goldberg, man. He makes it look incredible.
I mean, I feel bad for Ilya Dragunov. That dude, I don't even know what to say. That was brutal, to say the least. Off, you know, when he jumped off and just right into the spear. Yeah. So if he's actually really hurt, Like I hope him all the best. Clearly, it's not a triple threat match right now at SummerSlam. It's a singles match. But yeah, I don't want to run in front of a Braun Breaker spear anytime too soon.
Especially when the ring, the ropes like 3 or 4 times, and he's just speeding like a freight train. I still can't believe how much speed he gets off the ropes. And to be the person that's like, oh, here it comes, I don't envy anyone.
Yeah, like he's hitting you like he's trying to like sack the quarterback, but it's like not supposed to be like that. It's great.
No lineman protecting you from that side.
Yeah, it's so bad, but it's great. I feel bad for Ilya too.
So we also have one of the 9 non-title matches. CM Punk cleared to compete. Drew McIntyre not suspended anymore on Raw. And Seth frickin' Rollins, guest referee. Court, how is this match unfolding? What's the finish?
That's a loaded question. I mean, this match is going to be chaotic. At first, when I saw that Seth was going to be the special ref, I was kind of like, if they made it a triple threat, it'd be even crazier. But it's even better that he's the ref. Thinking about it, like now, I had a little time to think about it, and I think it's even better because he hates Punk just as much as Drew hates Punk. Doesn't really love Drew either. Drew took his championship from him. He's just going to let them beat the crap out of each other, and he's definitely going to have some crazy Shawn Michaels 1997-esque referee gear. I think he literally tweeted that, or somebody, he put it in his story today. Like, it's going to be crazy, but I think the match is going to be, that match doesn't need anything more, and adding Seth really gives it somehow. It gives it more. I have no idea what's going to happen. I genuinely don't. I think Drew wins somehow because I think Seth hates Punk more than he hates Drew. And I think that's the dominating factor there. But I have no clue what's going to happen. I know it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm almost sure about is having Seth become the special guest referee. I think that pretty much ensures that this Drew and Punk thing, this isn't a one and done, because Rollins is gonna get involved whichever way he does. It might be both. He's probably gonna pull. I forget who pulled the move, but like he walked up, like there was a special guest referee, walked up to the one guy, slapped him right in the face, walked up to the second guy, slapped him right in the face, and then just laughed and let them fight. That's, I just see it going down that way just because Seth hates both of them. Like Court said, I think the hatred for Punk outweighs the hatred for McIntyre. So this is one of the toss-ups. It's going to be hectic. It's going to be chaotic. But all I know is whatever happens that night in Cleveland, it's not going to be the last of it. And they're going to continue to build on that. Maybe that's when we get the triple threat. Who knows? But this is far from over.
Yeah, I agree. I think Damian wins. Not Damian. I'm like freaking losing it. I think Drew wins because of what Seth told CM Punk the night after he got screwed. He's like, you have this desire to screw over Drew McIntyre and you want to beat him, and I'm not going to let that happen. So him being in this match as a special guest referee, yeah, he's going to toy with them. There's going to be 3 or 4 times where Seth stops counting. He's going to be sitting on the turnbuckle watching the match, enjoying it. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to get Drew over Punk. We're going to have a little bit of a Seth Punk rivalry, and then we're going to get right back into Drew and Punk leading to Mania. That's what I think. And maybe it's for a championship. Maybe it's not for a championship, but that's kind of my end game for this match. I think it sets up for a nice half a year, a little over half a year to WrestleMania of storyline. And when was the last time we had this thrilling of a feud, especially with the 3 individuals, for a non-title. So I'm very excited. This is going to be super entertaining. And just off the build-up alone from Monday night and that segment they had, they're going to blow the roof off that place.
I couldn't agree more. I'm just really, really, really hoping that Punk stays healthy. Just make it through the match, please. Like, that's all. If you think about it, we've only seen a live televised Punk returning was the Rumble. He had 2 singles matches non-televised on live events, I think in California at MSG. Now he's stepping into the ring with Drew Bloody McIntyre. So I just hope he comes out of it unscathed, unharmed, and then we can move from there. Then we could roll this thing along. But he's definitely got to just get through this first match.
Well, he's got new wheels everywhere: arms, legs, feet, hands. Everything's brand freaking new. Everything's been reconstructed. So he should be like the Bionic Man out there when wrestling. He's just got to make sure he's stretching, make sure he's in the performance center working it. And just the side note, back to the match itself and the superstars involved. Like, for Drew's had just fall off after fall off after fall off. So I think it's time to give him a victory, and this would be a big one for him. And Punk's just coming back, and again, hopefully stays healthy and has a nice run with Seth and another nice run with Drew, and we'll be thoroughly pleased after it all ends.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing about Punk. He's got so many surgically repaired things now. There's like nothing left to break, hopefully, or tear or anything. I think, and he looks very, very healthy. He looks so much healthier than he did in AEW. Like, it's night and day. Even like after he left WWE 10 years ago and went to UFC, he didn't look like, when he was training UFC, he looked frail, and now he looks he looked withered. Yeah. And like, that's weight cut and all that crap. But like, he looks healthy. He looks ready. I know he was training, like, rehabbing like crazy with the tricep. But let's hope he doesn't get hurt. But it's going to be a banger. It's going to be amazing.
So let's lead into the WWE Women's Championship match. We got Bayley, Nia Jax. I want to take this one real quick, because what I mentioned was, when I said all titles besides Cody's going to change hands, I think we get a cash in from Tiffany Stratton. I think Bayley wins clean. I think Nia rages. And I think Tiffany cashes and becomes a champion. Would I feel bad for Bayley in her current reign? Yes. I think she deserves a bit of a run. But at the same time, the story writer for me sees this, because Nia is just decimating everyone in her path, right? Nia, Bayley, they're going to go to war in this match. And I think Bayley's going to squeak one out. Nia's going to get angry, decimate like she does, and it's easy pickings for Tiffany Stratton.
That's a great point. I honestly wasn't thinking that, because like we spoke about 2 weeks ago now, with Drew cashing in Money in the Bank that night, it's like you kind of want to wait, but that's a perfect scenario for it to happen. And Tiffany Stratton's hot, and even if she has a quick title reign, even if like Bayley somehow wins it, Bayley takes it back, or Nia, or the SmackDown, the women on SmackDown, I feel like are more loaded than the Raw women's roster. I think that, obviously Liv and Rhea, like we spoke about, are on fire, and it's perfect, but SmackDown has more of a pool of talent, and I feel like there's more. I could be totally wrong. I'm just thinking in my head. And I think that I just got lost my train of thought. I think that there's more faces on SmackDown. So if you have a heel champion, there's a lot more challengers that can come up. So Ty, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and take exactly what you said. I'm just going to steal it.
So I'm going to go against the grain again. I believe that, unfortunately, Bailey loses clean. I think Nia has shown her strength, her power, obviously since returning. And I believe, Bailey just gives it her all. She comes up a little bit short. And then that's where the dilemma is going to happen. The dilemma with Nia and Tiffany Stratton. Because now you're going to have this whole dynamic of Tiffany Stratton wanting to cash in on like a vulnerable Nia, but then Nia will like get up and be like, what were you about to do? Like, were you about to try to cash in on me? Like, you're not going to cash in on me. And it's going to build up for a while until we finally see Tiffany Stratton, cash in. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have, I think that's the way it's going to go. I'm going to stick with my original answer, and Nia is going to win clean, and then it's going to lead to a dynamic in which Tiffany Stratton's actually kind of afraid to cash in on her in parentheses her friend Nia Jax.
Yeah, but that also won't stop her from, because remember, they can cash in on either brand. That's not brand specific, so that she can always cash in over on the other side. So that's why I think this would be the moment to do it, especially if they want to keep her on SmackDown, is the fact that she will have an open opportunity if Nia Jax rages. And we've seen a tease of it before. We've seen it on SmackDown where Nia's like, what are you doing? This is my match. This is who I'm fighting at SummerSlam. Like, you ain't cashing this in right now. I'm beating Bailey. So I think it would come full circle if she does not beat Bailey, that Tiffany could come in, pick up the pieces, I should say, and win the championship. It's her time. She's hot. Like, this is the thing with LA Knight. Like, LA Knight was smoldering hot, and they still haven't given him anything. Everyone's chanting Tiffy time. She's the heel, and people absolutely love her. And I think they got to pull the trigger. And the sooner they do it, I think the better for Tiffany.
But if she does do that, say she cashes in, say she becomes champion, does she have a long run? Or is it – because personally, I don't know if she's ready for that right now. To me, I know that she's hot, and even though she's a heel, she does have a lot of, with a lot of crowd. I can't get the word, favoritism, whatever. She's got a pop, even though she's a heel. But does she have the ability to carry that championship and have a reign, or is it going to be like a 1 month, 2 month, lose it before Survivor Series?
Well, I think that's best, right? Give her the title for a month, see the reaction, see what she does. If not, you can give it right back to Bailey. Have a 1 month title reign. Bailey win it back and show that she lost it on the fluke because it was a cash in, and continue from there. I don't see anything negative that could come from Tiffany Stratton winning the title at this moment. I think she can be tested now. I think it'd be good to see. And plus, for the women, they don't have a mid-card title. They don't have a U.S. title. They don't have an Intercontinental title. Sometimes with that, you just got to pull the trigger, especially because, like, the only other titles is the women's tag team titles. And if they put Nia and Tiffany as a team together, I think that's going to just murder her momentum.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you guys bring up another point. Like, is Tiffany Stratton ready? I mean, I'm sorry, there's a fly flying around here, and this is totally off topic, but today at work, a fly flew right into my uvula and I swallowed it. So now I'm having PTSD about flies. I'm freaking out right now. There's a fly. I think it's going to go right down my throat, right down the esophagus again. So I'm a little flustered right now. So I don't know if you guys have ever swallowed a fly, but it sucks. But Ty, you can go on to the next match. Tiffany Stratton's going to hold on to the briefcase.
Hey, you got a little extra protein snack in you. That's a win, right? Free protein snack.
It was wild.
But okay, let's go into. We have 2 matches left. We have the World Title WWE Championship match. I want to talk about the world title match because we've already had hints of things we think about. There's more up in the air in that match, I believe, than the WWE Championship match because we got Cody, we got Solo, we got Bloodline 2.0, and whoever wants to come have Cody's back. As of right now, it seems like that's Randy and Kevin. Who knows? The whole SmackDown roster might come out with how much Jacob Fatu has been laying waste to anyone in his path, including tag teams. But I think, in my eyes, Cody retains. But Court, I'll let you deep dive this one.
Deep dive this one. Look, I putting Cody aside for a moment, I do think Solo has really flourished with the new bloodline. He's doing very well. I think that it's working. I think it's building towards, we've talked about it multiple times, Bloodline 2.0 versus the OG Bloodline, Roman coming back. I think Solo and Cody are going to have a great match. I don't think Cody's going to lose. I never think he's going to lose, though. So let's be real. I know how it's going to play out. It's just written in the stars that Roman's going to come save him because Kevin got taken out. Randy got taken out. Jay's doing his own thing. Cody doesn't really have boys right now. I mean, like Ty said, maybe the whole SmackDown roster comes out and saves him, but highly doubt it. And I think the match will be amazing. I think, unfortunately for me, because I don't like this move at all, but I'll take it, is Roman's going to come back, Solo's going to freak out, Cody's going to pin him, and then Roman and Cody a little stare off, and then that's boom. I don't think it's going to be as much as I want it to be the last match. Maybe it will, actually. If Roman comes out.
It will be.
It will be, yeah. And that's probably how the pay-per-view will end. Cody and Roman staring at each other on the ramp or something, in the ring, whatever. But the Roman thing is very not wishy-washy for me. It's just very hard to, for me, I want Cody to be mad. If Roman comes out and saves him and Cody realizes what happened when he just, say he doesn't see Roman, Solo's down, he pins him, he sees Roman. I want Cody, as a Cody fan, to be mad. Cody's a babyface of all babyfaces. He doesn't want help. He tells Kevin and Randy that all the time. This is my fight. I'm doing this. I don't need your help. But they'll keep telling him, I have your back. I have your back. I want Cody to see Roman and be angry. I want angry, annoyed Cody. I want him to retain, which I think he will. But I want him to be upset. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. But clearly the rest of the bloodline is going to get involved in this match. Guaranteed. I'll throw money on it if we have to. Now, clearly Orton's been taken out. Kevin Owens has been taken out. We don't know we don't know how they're doing leading up into SummerSlam. Are they even going to be at SummerSlam? Or are they going to wait? I feel like on Friday, it's just going to be Cody alone without Randy, without Kevin. And then maybe at SummerSlam, that's when they, run out to help him and make the surprise save. But is this also, like I said, is this where Randy Orton turns on Cody? We've seen the looks that he's given the title. We're getting the hints, with Cody talking so highly about Randy Orton, how they're friends and how Randy's the one that believed in him and, he'll never turn on him. Like the seeds are being planted and I think the tree is about to blossom. I think Randy's going to come out. He's going to just look at Cody and he's going to RKO him. And he's just going to look at him all confused, like the psycho crazy man that Randy Orton is. And then he's just going to walk off. And then I think, you're going to have Solo go for the pin. And then you're going to hear Roman's music hit. So it's not like Cody's getting the help. It's actually he's getting even less help because Orton's going to turn on him. And then just the distraction from Roman is going to do enough to help Cody take the victory and move on, and then you got Bloodline Civil War Part 2.
I think it's just a little too much. I think Randy and Cody is going to happen on SmackDown, maybe the following SmackDown, in like a congratulatory like segment when Cody wins. Because if you're having Roman come out, I don't think Randy's going to RKO him. Cody's still got Jay, John Cena, and The Undertaker to come out if he needs for the Bloodline. We've seen it before. We could see it again. Who knows? It's not going to happen.
The Undertaker again.
I think that Roman's the one that causes, like you both said, that causes Solo to lose. Maybe him just his music hitting and coming out with Paul Heyman will just like shock him, which gives enough time for Cody to finish it off. But yeah, I think it's got to happen. It's the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and I think this is where Roman usually shows up. So he shows up at WrestleMania. He shows up at SummerSlam, so I think it's time. So I think Roman has his 2 pay-per-views they love to show up at. I think he's going to scare/shock Solo and cause him the loss. And the following Friday, we start Bloodline Civil War, and we start heel Randy Orton.
See, I have a different take. I've been thinking about the Randy stuff a lot. I've said it before. I want this to be like a massive feud. I want it to be everything I've ever dreamed of, like, because Cody and Randy have such history, it pretty much writes itself. For some reason in my head, I have Survivor Series. I have Randy and Cody are on a team. I have Cody and Randy being the last 2 against 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. And Cody's about to pin someone, and Randy just takes him out and leaves. And for some reason, I don't know where it came from. I don't know if I'm just like making things up in my head, but I think, like Ty said, it could happen at SmackDown after. It could. I just think that, like Ty said, at SummerSlam, it's just too much in one place. There's going to be so much happening on that pay-per-view already. You can't have Randy turning and Roman in the same 5-minute span. It's just going to be. It's too hard to navigate through that. Like, obviously Roman go his own way. He's not going to go right after Cody unless he does, whatever. I don't know. But I think the Randy thing is it could happen right away. But for some reason in my head, don't know why, Survivor Series is just in my head. But we'll see.
I'll tell you what, that pop that Roman Reigns is going to receive is going to be it's going to be louder than Punk's return. It's going to be louder than
wow.
Yeah, dude. That Roman Reigns pop coming back to take on Solo Sikoa is going to be deafening.
You literally just said it'd be louder than Punk in Chicago coming back after 10 years? Come on, Justin.
Yeah. Yes. Because it's a stadium. It's a stadium and not, I mean, yeah, I guess it's going to sound louder because Punk was in an enclosed arena, but those people are going to go crazy when Roman's music hits and everyone's fingers are going to go up. And they're going to acknowledge that the real tribal chief has returned to take his throne.
Dude, so SummerSlam and WrestleMania are where most times the hardcore wrestling fans try and go to. And I think a lot of hardcore fans don't really give a damn about Roman Reigns. I think the day-to-day watchers who want to see him come back and are in the crowds every week and, you know, booing Solo are going to cheer him. But I don't think he's going to get the reception that everyone is like saying that he's going to get. Maybe it happens. I could definitely be wrong. But if I'm in the arena, I don't like if I'm in Cleveland and I'm at SummerSlam and Roman comes out, I don't care. Me personally, I watch, cool, do your thing. I'll cheer when Cody wins, do a whoa. But for me personally, I am so far off the Roman Reigns train. I could care less.
Yeah, I would not cheer. I would stand there silent. Just like I did when he entered. And Ty held his thumb like this the entire 8-minute entrance at WrestleMania. It was hilarious. But yeah, he'll definitely get a pop. I'm not saying he won't get a pop. I'm just saying it won't be on that Punk Chicago level. That's hey, it might happen. I could be eating my words. It happens a lot on this podcast.
Well, we'll see. I just think that the crowd hates Solo Sikoa so much that they're all chanting, "We want Roman, we want Roman," and now Roman's going to show up, and it's just gonna because it's going to be Roman's face bloodline versus Solo's heel bloodline, and I think the people are just going to go crazy. I don't know. We'll have to watch and we'll have to find out.
Yeah. So let's conclude this with the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther, Damian Priest, and it's going to be a doozy. Justin, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So when we started the podcast, I said that this is probably the title that I think is almost guaranteed to change. This is Gunther's time after, winning King of the Ring. He's just going to continue to show his dominance. And this is the perfect guy for Priest to lose to. I thought, Priest's title reign, he had a few defenses. I thought it wasn't like a, I don't know what the word, it wasn't a title reign that you could laugh at. Let's put it that way. I think he did his job, besides the one blunder, which was a huge blunder, but that, I digress. I just think it's time for Gunther. I believe he's going to tell Finn and JD not to come out and get involved. They're going to come out, get involved, and it's going to go in the wrong direction. He's going to get pissed. That's when Judgment Day Civil War happens and Gunther takes the title.
See, at the beginning of the show, I said that 3 titles would change, and I was unsure about a 4th. And for some reason, I feel like Priest is going to retain. I feel like I don't know why. I feel like Gunther's going to get a rematch somehow. I feel like something's going to happen where it's not going to be clean. Judgment Day interference, somebody interfere, something's going to happen. I think Priest has had I think to all of us, a surprisingly good reign. We all kind of were like, where's it going to go once he cashed in at WrestleMania? And he's done well. He's been a good champion. He's getting his promo skills. He's getting everything there. But I think the title comes off him soon, but just for something sticking in my brain that he's just somehow going to retain. And I could be totally off, but that's just what's sticking in my head. I think Gunther is ready. I think he should be world champion. But for some reason, I'm stuck on Priest winning somehow. That's just where my head's at.
Yeah, I'm not too far off from you. I do think more for me, I think Gunther is more likely to win than Damian retain. But I also have like this little birdie in the back of my brain saying that Damian's going to retain. And to kind of mix 2 points together, I think Judgment Day can come out, but also jump on Gunther during the match to cause disqualification. That way, Damian doesn't win clean over Gunther. He retains because of DQ, and Gunther still gets a shot at Survivor Series or a different pay-per-view. They're bringing back Bad Blood, right? Is that what they're bringing back in Georgia? Bad Blood. Like there's ample opportunities for Gunther to come back if that happens and rematch for the title. But I feel like they're so high on Gunther and him being a champion. He didn't even get his rematch against Sammy, right? Like he didn't like, they don't want him losing. So like they want him to win as much as possible. And I think they're going to continue that dominance when it comes to SummerSlam. So I really think, if anything, Gunther is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's going to have one hell of a reign. They're not going to make it short. He's going to be probably a year at least in that title reign, and we'll see. He is excelled. He is one of the best in this current generation, and He definitely entertains. Like him and Priest, their segment together, it was 2 weeks ago, was incredible. It was so good. And last Monday when Gunther started off the show, he didn't start off the show, but was talking crap about Damian and calling him out just to hand the title over to him, and the brawl that ensued. Like, there was so much violence on Raw this past Monday. It was insane. There was just fights everywhere. Adam Pearce couldn't even keep his brain on tight. He's just like, what do I do? It's chaos every moment on this show. I don't know how to contain it. But it definitely could go either way. I'm excited. That's the match. That and the WWE Women's Championship match. Those are the two to me that are just going to really swerve left and right, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and just to, now that we just pretty much went through SummerSlam, can we just, before we end this podcast, can we talk about the Wyatt Six? So we just got the Eric Rowan video, and I know I missed you guys last week. And me talking to myself for 45 minutes, that was a tough thing to do. I didn't know what I was doing. It was brutal. The 3 count with J-Star, I hope never comes back. But the Eric Rowan video, how emotional and raw was that video?
Dude, it was very emotional. It was like tearing at the heartstrings. I was like, this man is just airing out everything he needs to, and is just putting it all on the screen for us to like enjoy the segment, but also like understand what he was feeling all this time, having 2 of his best friends pass away in such a short amount of time from each other. And I want to say I love it, and I do. It's just sad because it's actual raw emotion, his actual raw feelings, and he's allowing us to see that for entertainment aspect, but also understand where this faction's coming in to really wreak havoc is for the people that were forgotten about, that were pushed aside, left behind, and it's going to get real fast.
It was amazing. I mean, they have not missed. Nothing they've done has been less than A++, 1,000% amazing. The raw emotion behind it is so very Wyatt-esque, Bray-esque. And I think we all didn't know, we spoke about it when the Wyatt Six finally debuted, we didn't know where it was going to go. And these videotapes were not what I was thinking. And it's just so different. And it reminds me of like, not like Attitude Era, but like kind of like, it's just kind of like, it's pulling in different emotions that you weren't getting in the Vince in like the last, 15 years, give or take. Like you wouldn't, if this was 2006, 7, 8, we wouldn't be getting this. Like, it wouldn't be this way. They would just be this crazy looking faction that would come out to the ring and roll around in like the fog machine, and it would just be like, blue lights and black lights or whatever, and it would just be like the weird Vince stuff. But like, this is so raw and it's so emotional and it's so why it's just they just can't miss. I said it last week, but they just can't. It's because it's so real. But that's what makes it so good, is that it's so real, and it's so, people watch those videos. You could show someone that video who doesn't even know about wrestling, and you'd be like, wow, I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, like, damn, that's intense. And the best part of it too is when Nikki Cross's videotape this previous Monday, like, she didn't say a word. It was just creepy. It was this weird tone. She was staring into the camera with a creepy face, and it works because how she was being treated at, before she transitioned to Wyatt Six was weird stuff in the background, walking around, loner, talking to herself. And now we have this Nikki Cross that has no feelings, that she's just dejected from society and she wants to lash out. And you can see that by her not saying anything, by all the cuts of video we saw. And to me, it just shows the difference between the emotional side we see of Eric Rowan to the dejected from society Nikki Cross that we've got. So these characters are gonna mesh so well and bring so many different aspects to the squad. It's gonna get amazing.
And then I just love the fact that Uncle Howdy kept Sister Abigail, and props to Chad Gable, because that man sold that Sister Abigail like there was no tomorrow. Like, that was incredibly well done, and it just made it look that much better, and it made Uncle Howdy that much stronger.
It did. Well,
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. Well, thanks all for tuning in on our SummerSlam special, getting ready for the second hottest pay-per-view of the year. Give us your thoughts. Who's retaining? Who's winning? Who's coming out on top? Are the Wyatt Six going to run rampant over SummerSlam? Give us those thoughts. And thank you for listening. And we'll check y'all on the next one.
Peace.
I'm going to go kill a fly. Peace.